Welcome back to MJC Learning, Standard 12th, Subject Economics. Till recently, we have learnt about Utility Analysis Part 4, wherein we have understood about the meaning of utility, which is the want satisfying power of a commodity. We have learnt the definition of utility according to Professor Stanley. Then we have come across the concepts of utility, that is total utility and marginal utility, which has helped us to gain the better perspective about our main subject content, that is the law of diminishing marginal utility. Under the law of diminishing marginal utility, we have learned that the utility which a consumer is deriving from a commodity goes on decreasing with additional intake of the very same commodity. Then we have also learned about the diminishing marginal utility law with the help of the schedule as well as the graph. We have also learned about various assumptions and today we are going to brief with the exceptions of the law of diminishing marginal utility along with the criticism. So, let us begin with the part 5 of our chapter Utility Analysis. There are certain exceptions to the law of diminishing marginal utility. What does that mean? Here it means that there are certain things which are not applicable on the law of diminishing marginal utility. So, the very first case under the exception of the law of diminishing marginal utility stands with hobbies. Now, what are hobbies? There are certain things which we like to do, right? So, there are certain hobbies like collection of stamps, rare coin, precious painting. Here, the applicability of law is not there because with every increase in the stock gives more pleasure and the marginal utility goes on increasing rather than diminishing. Hence, the very first case is talking about hobbies wherein the law of diminishing marginal utility is not applicable. Moving on to the second exception to the law is the case of misers. Who is a miser? Who doesn't like to spend the money. So, here we can understand that every additional rupee gives more satisfaction to the miser because he is not a rational person. If you remember, we have learned about a very important assumption, that is the condition, or you can say the assumption of rationality. A consumer is supposed to be rational, and that is how the law of diminishing marginal utility will hold true. But in the case of the exception, our miser is not a rational person, and that is why the additional rupee will give him more satisfaction and the marginal utility will tend to increase rather than diminish. Moving on to our third exception is that of a case of a drunkard, where the level of intoxication increases with every additional unit of the liquor which he is consuming. And that is why the marginal utility will increase rather than decreasing. And we can see that This condition is applicable to all the edicts because they are not rational, and that is why it is an exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility. The next exception to the law is that of a music. Yes, we all like to listen to some music, and here, when people are fond of music or certain songs, when they like it, the marginal utility gives more, or you can say the satisfaction of a repeated hearing of that song or music gives more and more satisfaction rather than diminishing its utility for us. That is why music also stands under the exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Our next exception to the law is power. It is an exception because when a person acquires power, he wants more of it. If he has certain authority, he wants more of it because people will listen to him because of his authoritativeness. Therefore, power stands as an exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility where our consumer is not acting rational. Another important exception to the law of diminishing marginal utility is that of reading. Since reading gives us deeper knowledge and a better understanding, it increases our satisfaction level by reading more number of books, or you can say reading the books over a period of time. Therefore, marginal utility is increasing because the person is getting satisfaction more and more by reading more amount of books. Here, the things which are taken into consideration is homogeneity and continuity. The law, or you can say the assumptions of the law, that is homogeneity and continuity, are not satisfied because the books are different and they are not read in a continuous process. That is why reading comes under the law of diminishing marginal utilities exception. There is another case of exception to the law, that is money. We have understood about the miser's tendency in our previous exception, wherein the more amount of money the miser is saving, he is getting more marginal utility or more satisfaction out of it. Similarly, it is observed that the marginal utility of money never becomes zero. In fact, it keeps on increasing with the stock of money because in nowadays, or you can say it from the time being of human wants have arisen, we need certain medium of exchange in order to fulfill our want. And that is why in today's era, it is money which serves as a medium of exchange which helps us to purchase various goods and services which satisfies our want. And therefore, money acts as a exception to the law because even when you get more money, you want more money. That is, the marginal utility of money never becomes zero. Now, let us move on to our next aspect of today's lecture, that is criticism to the law. So far, we have learned about Alfred Marshall's law of diminishing marginal utility. It's the law, basic statement of the law. Then we have come across the assumption of the law, wherein homogeneity, continuity, rationality, and other certain things were a part of the assumptions. Then we have learnt about the exception in our today's lecture, which included the cases of a miser, money, reading, drunkard, etc. Now, the law was criticized by the economist of that era, and that is why we are here supposed to learn about the criticism of the law. On what basis was the law of diminishing marginal utility was criticized? We are going to understand that. So the very first criticism of the law is of unrealistic assumption. Here the law says that there are various assumptions as we have learned already, that is homogeneity, continuity, rationality. But in reality, it is really difficult to fulfill all these conditions at the same time. That is why it is said that there is an unrealistic assumption of the law which is not true in the real sense. That is why the term unrealistic is being used. The assumptions are not real because all the assumptions of homogeneity, continuity, rationality, they are not certain things that they can be fulfilled all at a time. So, this was the very first criticism of the law. The second important criticism of the law is that of cardinal measurement. As we have learned already, that the comparison of different commodities consumption with the help of number helps us to gain the better idea of the utility, right? Or in simple words, the numbers helps us to understand the utility derived by consuming each commodity. But on this very same basis, the other economists have criticized the law. They say that the utility cannot be expressed in terms of number, and therefore it is not possible for anyone to measure the utility because utility is a psychological concept. The satisfaction level cannot be numberized or cannot be measured in terms of number. The third important criticism of the law is that of indivisible goods. The law is not applicable to the indivisible goods, that means which are bulky in nature. You cannot divide your fridge or TV or washing machine, your car into small parts, equal parts, and then use it, right? That is why this law says that, or it is criticized on the basis of indivisibility of goods. Then, moving on to the constant marginal utility of money. Again, our law of diminishing marginal utility assumes that the utility of money remains constant. But is that true? The critic says that the marginal utility of money also differs from person to person. The utility of money is also influenced by changes in price, the stock of money, etc. And thus, on the basis of the constant marginal utility of money, the law of diminishing marginal utility is being criticized. Moving on to the last criticism is that of a single want. Here, the law is said to be restricted to the satisfaction of single want only, because in reality a man can satisfy many wants at a time. So it is not possible to be restricted to his satisfaction level of one particular product or commodity only. So far we have learned about various assumptions, exceptions, right? And criticism. Let us have a look at it again. The very first exception to the law was that of a hobby. Then of a miser, we have learnt about the case of miser, wherein every additional rupee will give him more satisfaction, and rather than a decreasing or a diminishing marginal utility, the miser's marginal utility for money will increase. Then we have understood the case of a drunkard, wherein due to the intoxication level, he is not a rational person to decide how much the satisfaction is he deriving by the consumption of a commodity. Music, we have also learned about it. The power, reading, money, that means with every increase in the money or stock of money, the marginal utility increases. It never becomes zero. Then we have learnt about the criticism of the law. It is based on unrealistic assumption, it says. Then our utility can never be measured in numbers because it is a psychological concept. The goods, the bulky goods, cannot be divided into equal parts, and therefore it is not possible to compare the marginal utility. Then we have also learned that the marginal utility of money remains constant, but in reality, the utility of money differs from person to person. And then at last, we have understood about the law's restriction, wherein the person or the consumer can satisfy many wants at a time, and thus the law of diminishing marginal utility does not hold to be true. So, I hope you enjoyed this lecture as well as have learned along with me a lot. So, see you in the next time. Till that time, keep learning and keep smiling. Take care.